What if the wild, beautiful chaos of your twin flame journey was never the main event, but simply the prologue, the necessary turbulent overture to a symphony you've only just begun to hear? You've navigated the dizzying pull, weathered the soul-shaking separation, and diligently done the work to heal the echoes of ancient wounds. You've been obsessed with the how to find them, how to heal, how to survive the intensity. But has it ever truly occurred to you to ask, what comes after? We spend so much time focused on the glorious, painful ascent up the mountain, convinced the summit is the final destination, that we never stop to consider the breathtaking, entirely new continent that awaits on the other side. That all-consuming fire wasn't meant to leave you in ashes. It was meant to forge you into something new entirely, to prepare you for a harmony so profound it makes the initial passionate melody seem like a simple tuning note. This is where the real story begins, in the quiet, potent space after the storm has passed, where you finally get to discover what two whole sovereign souls are truly capable of building together. The chase is over. The creation is just beginning. You've been dreaming of this moment for what feels like lifetimes. The aching separation, the dizzying highs, the mirror reflecting back every unhealed part of you. It was all leading here. And then the storm passes. The chaos stills. The desperate, aching need for them simply evaporates, and in its place, a terrifying, magnificent silence. You panic. Is this it? Has the magic gone? Where is the all-consuming fire? My dear soul, the fire hasn't gone out. It has simply built itself a proper hearth. This is the great, often unspoken mystery of the post-karmic phase, the terrifying, beautiful death of the old romantic fantasy and the birth of something so much more potent. You've spent this entire journey believing you were two halves of one whole, desperately seeking completion in each other. It's a beautiful story, isn't it? Poetic, but it's a story rooted in lack, in incompletion. And you, my love, have just finished a masterclass in becoming complete. So what happens when two whole universes decide to orbit each other? They don't complete one another. They complement. They collaborate. Think of it this way. The runner-chaser dynamic? That was the universe's intense, bootcamp-style training program to force you to build your own spiritual and emotional infrastructure. You were learning to generate your own light, to be your own source. You were being forged, quite painfully, into a sovereign being. And a sovereign does not need. A sovereign chooses. This is the sovereign union. It's the profound shift from a relationship based on needing to complete to one thriving on choosing to create. It's the difference between a flickering candle, desperate for another flame to stay alight, and two brilliant suns deciding to share a galaxy, their combined light illuminating entire worlds far beyond themselves. The love doesn't diminish. It transforms from a needy, consuming hunger into a stable, radiating, nuclear power. You are no longer looking at your twin flame and thinking, "You are my everything." You look at them with a deep, calm knowing, and you say, "With you, I can do anything." The magnetism is no longer about filling a void within you. It's about the exhilarating synergy of your combined, fully charged energies. It's a quantum entanglement of purpose. The conversations change. They're less about, how did you make me feel today? And more about, what incredible thing shall we build tomorrow? Your shared mission becomes the new glue, the new romance. It might be a business, a book, a healing modality, a family, a community project, or simply the mission of radiating a frequency of harmonious, conscious love so potent it subtly shifts the vibration of your entire street, your city, the world. You become a partnership in the truest, most powerful sense of the word. A spiritual CEO and COO of your shared destiny. You'll have meetings, not about bills and chores, though those too, but about energy, about strategy, about where your combined light is most needed. All right, my love, I'm channeling a lot of divine feminine creative energy this week, and I sense you're holding a strong, grounding masculine frequency. How shall we direct this? What project needs this specific cocktail of power? It sounds almost mundane, doesn't it? After all the dragonfire and angelic choirs. But that's the secret they don't tell you. The miracle isn't in the constant drama. The miracle is in the quiet, potent, ordinary-seeming coherence. It's in the ability to finally rest in the simple, staggering truth of their presence without the underlying tremor of fear. It's the deepest peace you will ever know. And the most hilarious part, after all that Sturm und Drang, after all the tears and the poetry and the swearing you'd never get over them, you find yourself laughing together at the cosmic joke. The ultimate goal was never just to be together. It was to become so whole on your own that being together became a creative playground, not a life-saving operation. You've graduated from the classroom of karma. Now, you're in the studio of co-creation. And the masterpiece you're about to paint together, well, that's a story for another day. But I will tell you this. It involves learning to dance within the most beautiful paradox imaginable. So, you've built your sovereignty. You're standing there, whole and complete, radiating your own sunlight, and your twin is doing the same right beside you. It's magnificent, isn't it? But then, a new, subtler, far more intriguing question begins to whisper in the quiet spaces between you. If we are both so fiercely, gloriously individual, then what, pray tell, is this breathtaking sense of oneness? This isn't a question that arises from lack anymore. It arises from awe. You've stumbled into the heart of the divine paradox. And my dear soul, this is where the real magic, the quiet, humble, everyday kind of magic, begins. This paradox is the ultimate spiritual tightrope. On one side, there's the profound, non-negotiable truth of your non-dualistic oneness. It's that feeling during meditation when you can't tell where your energy field ends and theirs begins. It's the telepathic knowing, the finished sentences, the shared dreamscapes. It's the soul-deep recognition that you are, in the most fundamental way, one consciousness experiencing itself through two unique vantage points. You are a single chord played on two instruments, and on the other side of the rope, swinging with joyful defiance, is the beautiful, messy human reality of your embodied individuality. He leaves his socks on the floor. She hums off-key in the kitchen. You have your own friends, your own quirky hobbies, your own personal triggers that are yours alone to manage. You are two distinct personalities with separate bank accounts, personal histories, and opinions on whether pineapple belongs on pizza, the eternal test. The karmic phase often felt like a violent tug of war between these two poles, swinging between enmeshment, I can't tell where I end and you begin, and isolation, I've completely lost myself. The post-karmic phase, it's not about choosing a side. It's about developing the supreme spiritual muscle to hold both truths simultaneously without contradiction. It's learning to dance in the tension between the two and finding that this tension isn't a problem to be solved. It's the very source of the music. Think of it like the ocean and a wave. The wave is never not the ocean. In its very essence, its water, its life is entirely the ocean. This is your non-dualistic oneness. Yet the wave has its own unique, temporary form. It has a crest and a trough. It rises and it falls in a glorious, individual expression that no other wave will ever perfectly replicate. This is your embodied individuality. The wave doesn't struggle against its oceanness to express its waveness. It doesn't apologize for its temporary, magnificent form. It simply is, both fully ocean and fully wave. This is your new dance. It's the ability to sit in a room together, immersed in the deep, silent, electric hum of your shared soul field, and then, without a shred of anxiety, break that silence to say, "Hey, pass the salt," or "I'm going for a walk by myself. I need some headspace." And the other doesn't flinch. There's no panic, no feeling of abandonment, because the connection is no longer fragile. It's a constant underground river flowing beneath the separate paths you walk on the surface. You learn to fluidly move between stains. You can merge your energies for a shared creative download or a healing session, becoming one coherent instrument of divine will. And then you can happily separate to tend to your own garden, your own personal growth, your own joy, understanding that your partner's individuality isn't a threat to your union, it's what fuels it. Your differences become the spices that flavor the meal, not the reasons to argue over the menu. You honor the I so that the we can be truly healthy. You nurture the we so that the I can feel eternally supported. It's not a balance, it's a synergy. It's the ultimate joke the universe plays on the ego. You finally get the sublime union you always wanted by becoming profoundly, unshakably, and sometimes annoyingly yourself. And the most beautiful part? This dance of paradox doesn't confine itself to your relationship. It begins to ripple out into everything you do, transforming how you work, how you create, and how you move through the world in a state of effortless flow. But that's a conversation about the art of sacred alchemy. So here you are, standing at the edge of everything you thought you knew about love. The tempest has quieted. The mirrors have shown you all they can, and you've stopped flinching at your own reflection. You've learned the most radical act of rebellion there is, to be so utterly, completely whole on your own that your presence becomes an invitation, not a demand. And you've discovered that the sacred dance of union isn't about moving in lockstep, but about creating a rhythm so unique, so fluid, that it can only be born from two people deeply, madly, securely rooted in their own authentic beat. This journey was never about finding your missing piece. That was the beautiful, necessary lie that got you on the road. The truth the breathtaking, liberating truth is that you were always a complete mosaic. The journey was about cleaning off the dust of lifetimes so you could finally see your own colors shine. And when you stand beside another who has done the same work, something miraculous happens. You don't merge into a single blurry hue. You become a constellation. Think about that for a moment. A constellation. Each star is a sovereign sun, burning brilliantly in its own right, vast distances apart, yet from our perspective here on Earth, they connect to form a story, a myth, a guidepost in the dark. That is the new mythology of union. You are not one star, you are two, and the space between you, that sacred, necessary space, is not emptiness. It is a resonant field, humming with the energy of your shared intention, the gravity of your shared purpose. It is in that space that the magic is actually held. The karmic lessons were the forge. The separation was the chisel. What you have now, this serene, powerful, creative partnership, is the sculpture finally revealing its form. And it is a form that is meant to be seen. This is perhaps the most overlooked aspect of all. Your union, in its harmonious state, is not a private sanctuary to be hidden away. It is a lighthouse. Your coherence broadcasts a frequency of possibility to a world starving for models of what love can truly be when it is free of fear, need, and ownership. You become a living testament that it is possible to love without losing yourself, to be deeply connected without being tethered, to argue without annihilating, to create without controlling. You are proof that the fire doesn't have to consume to be passionate. It can be the steady, enduring flame that warms the home you build together. This path is not a fantasy. It is a rigorous, messy, and profoundly human awakening. It asks for everything, and if you have the courage to give it, it gives back something that can't be put into words, only lived. It gives you a love that is not a destination, but a launchpad. A love that is less about gazing into each other's eyes and more about standing side by side, looking out at the same horizon and asking, what shall we create from this boundless peace we've fought so hard to earn? The work is never truly over, for growth is the eternal pulse of the universe. But the nature of the work changes. It shifts from excavation to architecture, from healing to building. You've spent so long learning the language of your own soul. Now you get to write the poetry, and the most beautiful poem of all. It begins with a single, powerful, quiet question. Now that we are free, what shall we do with our glorious, boundless, and infinitely creative together?